everybody, I am Anchal Jain and I welcome you all to the YouTube channel of Delhi Institute for Civil Services. The topic of discussion today is India-China Maritime Exercise, that is AIME, ASEAN India Maritime Exercise 2023. The exercise is going to be undertaken in the South China Sea. The exercise has two phases. One is a harbour phase and the second is a sea phase. The harbour phase is going to be undertaken at the Changi Naval Base, Singapore, and the sea phase is going to be undertaken in the South China Sea. The exercise, as we discussed, is going to be undertaken from 2nd of May till the 8th of May. The exercise basically, because it is military cooperation and the security cooperation, it is going to increase the cooperation between India and the ASEAN countries, which is for the further enhancement of the security cooperation between both the ASEAN as a region and India. INS Delhi, India's first indigenously built guided missile destroyer, and INS Satpura, which is an indigenously built guided missile stealth frigate. Both of them have participated in the exercise from India. With AIME 2023, we have become the fourth ASEAN dialogue partner after US, China and Russia to actually have ASEAN +1 military exercise, which is a great achievement in itself. We are the only fourth country after US, Russia and China to actually have a one-on-one military exercise with ASEAN. Navy Chief is also going to be participating in the International Maritime Defense exercise, that is exhibition, which is IMDEX. IMDEX was inaugurated or was held for the first time in 1997 and it has ever been expanding so far. We are also going to be participating in IMSC, which is International Maritime Security Conference. We are also going to be participating in this conference, which is going to be hosted by Singapore. So now this exercise, this conference particularly is been happening since 2009, which is hosted by Singapore Navy and S. Rajaratnam School of International Studies. So both of us together are organizing this conference and it is being hosted in Singapore. So the Indian Navy is also going to be participating in both of these exhibitions and conference. Now, what is the need of an exercise like this? Number one, you need to defy the territorial claims. So South China Sea, as you see, the South China Sea is the most disputed sea in the entire world. Many of the countries have different claims when it comes to the territories in South China Sea. So when you hold a military exercise like so, with multilateral participation, you actually defy the territorial claims that majority of the countries have. And what you try to establish is the freedom of navigation. When you conduct a maritime exercise which is multilateral, you actually are showcasing the freedom of navigation, because you hold and showcase your military capabilities. You are actually portraying that there is freedom of navigation in the entire region. That's number two. Number three, Indo-Pacific strategy. So now US and time and again many different countries have held that India is a responsible and a powerful country when it comes to maintaining balance in the Indo-Pacific region. So this region, which was previously called Asia-Pacific region, now it's called Indo-Pacific region, for the same reason that people see, or the countries see, India as a potential counter against China, which brings me to the next point, which is counterbalancing China. So when you talk about counterbalancing China, what you are trying to do is, see, majority of the disputes that South China Sea has, they are with respect to other countries and China. So basically other countries' claims and China. So Philippines and China, for example, they have disputes with respect to some territories, or say China and Japan, or say China and Singapore, for example, right? So in South China Sea, there are a lot of parties which have some of the other territorial claims because of the EEZ, disputed EEZ, exclusive economic zone, right? So all of these contenders, they in front of China, they seem weak. So when you talk about balancing, counterbalancing China, what we are trying to do is we are helping all of the ASEAN countries out with our military capabilities just to counter China, right? So that is another thing. And the global trade choke point. Now when you talk about global trade choke point, over $200 million of Indian trade happens via South China Sea, and South China Sea again very close to Malacca Strait, where majority of the volume and value trade happens from the Malacca Strait, right? So it is also an important trade choke point which has to be kept peaceful and navigable for almost everybody, right? Just so that China doesn't choke the important choke points, we have to create enough peace and stability in the entire region so that everybody can undertake the trade as they wish to, right? So for these reasons, this exercise AIME is going to be very fruitful, and also that the cooperation between ASEAN and India will increase further. Now when you talk about ASEAN, very brief information about ASEAN. So it's a regional intergovernmental organization that comprises of 10 Southeast Asian nations, the names of which we've already mentioned. So Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and then the 5, Myanmar, Cambodia, Vietnam, Thailand, and Brunei, right? So Brunei and Laos. So these are the 10 countries that are part of ASEAN. ASEAN, the headquarters of ASEAN is in Jakarta. Jakarta is in Indonesia. It was established by Bangkok Declaration in 1967, right? So what it does basically, why did we have a regional organization like ASEAN, was for the simple fact that we wanted a greater regional cooperation when it comes to political cooperation, economic cooperation, historical ties, security cooperation, etc., or maritime security for that matter. So this is a regional organization that caters to regional holistic development, right? So that was a quick gist about ASEAN. What we did today was ASEAN, India ASEAN Maritime Exercise, and how it is going to help India and ASEAN further cooperate on different things or on different aspects of cooperation, right? That is all for the same. That is all for the exercise. I hope you like the mini lecture, and I shall see you in the next one. Thank you.